Hello, and welcome to this practice today. My name is Dr. Melissa Kerr. I am an integrative physical therapist, a registered yoga instructor, and I'm certified in teaching certain styles of Tai Chi and Qigong. Today, we are going to talk about using Qigong for weight loss and for wellness in terms of our healthy body image. Qigong is a practice that uses a no contact pressure point alignment to activate our acupoints. And it's said in Chinese medicine that when we're functioning well, when we're flowing well, when we are in a state of ease, our acupoints are open and our qi flows. And when we have some restrictions or some blocks that come along the way, we tend to be placed in a state of dis-ease. So ultimately, Qigong is about opening the areas where we have restrictions or narrowing and permitting better flow. Qigong is a practice that is dose dependent. So, the more frequently and consistently we engage in our Qigong practice, the better our abilities to open and sustain the opening of our acupoints are. In other words, practicing once a day, every day, is going to bring us a better ability to achieve the flow state versus practicing once every 2 or 3 weeks or once a month. Now, practice in general is better than no practice at all, but there is a discipline to Qigong. There's the consistency to Qigong. And possibly one of the most important elements to the practice is that you don't chase it, that you tap into your body and you allow things to move in a way that permits the state of flow. When we talk about enhancing our wellness and we look at concepts of weight loss or weight management, or better yet, maybe finding an ideal body weight that we can sustain, feeling good and positive and powerful about ourselves. Some of the top suggestions are not only the consistency of the Qigong practice, but starting your practice in the early morning is consistently recommended throughout various different styles and types of Tai Chi and Qigong. So, greeting your day with 5 to 10 minutes of a regular practice, some relatively simple opening exercises, is a fantastic starting place. We can also bring in the concepts of cleansing next. And we can cleanse sometimes with room temperature water and a fresh squeezed lemon or two. That helps us start to move our systems around after sleeping, hopefully a restful night's sleep. So we can engage in hydration with lemon, which, although lemon is acidic, it's through a rather complicated process in the body that it turns into an alkaline environment in our digestive system. So welcoming the lemon water and then utilizing maybe some practices that help us clear out and enhance our lymphatic system. And when our lymph system moves well, our immune system moves well. And finally, we want to look at our emotional regulation. Stress is a term that has become all too common, and we tend to dismiss the power that stress can have on our lives. Stress can be eustress or positive, or distress more negative. The eustress affects our body in ways that don't leave permanent, lasting damage, and distress can leave permanent and lasting damage when it's not regulated. So, one thing that we hear regularly is that when we're stressed, our cortisol levels fluctuate, which impacts where we retain weight, how much we retain, and it can even affect our usual sleep cycles, amongst other things. So, getting a good grasp of where we are emotionally and regulating that to help us enhance our ability to find a homeostatic or nice balance point. The balance point does not mean without change. Our balance point is meant to ebb and flow into stress and relaxation. We're just not meant to stay stuck. So let's investigate what a morning Qigong practice may look like. So, without becoming overly complicated, you're going to find yourself standing in a hip width distance stance. So the feet are just at hip width, and the knees have a soft bend, and therefore, this important area, the quad, the hip crease, will have a softness to it. The hands are going to be in a gentle cupped shape, almost as if they're holding water balloons, and they're going to face down toward our side pockets. And of note here, the center of the palm is an incredibly important acupressure point, pericardium 8. In this particular posture, it's lining up with a gallbladder point just behind the outer hip bone. So in this position, with the feet secured on the ground, the knees softly bent, the hips softly bent, the hands falling into this rounded shape, a rounding in the elbows, and then imagining the top of the head or the byway gently lifting to the heavens as the feet ground down into the earth. This is our opening stance. It's a Wu Ji posture, and Wu Ji is where we have balance. We have a yin and a yang, and we're in a good neutral balance. So to bring down the chi, start to float the arms out to the side and very easily float, not a lot of muscular engagement. And then turn the palms to face the sky and allow the hands to float up overhead. As the hands come toward each other, they don't touch. We can extend or straighten the knees and the hips a small amount, not locking, and the gaze can look up. And then, as if you were pressing down a helium balloon, begin to softly sink the hands, and the gaze can follow between the fingers. And as the hands slowly lower, the hips and the knees slowly lower as well. It's a very slow moving process. As the hands pass the low belly, we'll repeat this 2 more times. So start to float the arms out to the side, turn the palms to face the sky when the arms are about halfway up. Opening through the knees and the hip, find the helium balloon and softly press down. As the hands sink, the knees and the hips sink. And then we'll do 1 more time. Starting to float the arms up, turning the palms to turn to face the sky, and then gently pressing the hands down, sinking the hips and the knees. So this is the practice of bringing down the chi, or some call it bringing down the heavens. As your hands pass the navel this time, the palms will face the qua. You will trace the qua and settle the hands right back into the side pocket, back to where we began. Find your left foot and step your left foot in to meet your right. Females are going to place their right hand on the low belly first. Males would place the left. Your opposite hand comes on top, and your top thumb tucks under the lower hand. If your eyes can soften or maybe even close, knowing that this can present an increase in challenge to your balance, we stay here for a few rounds of breath, keeping tongue to roof of mouth, just allowing our chi, our energies to settle. And when we feel settled, we can blink the eyes open, we can release the hands, and we can separate the feet. So this practice can be repeated over and over and over again. And it can be completed for as long as you like. It could be 3 rounds, it could be 2 minutes, it could be 5 minutes. This is enough, right? This is absolutely enough. So in recap, consistent Qigong practice brings about our best results. Having a morning practice where we can find any movement and repeat it for 2 to 5 minutes is an excellent suggestion for starting the day. We want to remove toxic buildup, so drinking water with lemon after our practice, or maybe before our practice, depending on your body, might suit you well. And then remembering to stay regulated with our emotions, knowing our emotions shift throughout the day. So having the awareness and bringing ourselves into balance I hope you found this information helpful for you. If you have any questions, please reach out to Be Well Therapies. You can find us on our webpage, which is bewelltherapies.org. You can find us through email, bewell@bewelltherapies.org. Thank you for your time. Be well.